Yo, what's up guys? My name is Holly and welcome back to Chronicle. This is the home where a bunch of my favourite people and I will get together, tell some awesome stories and hopefully take you guys along the ride with us. On today's episode we're going to be returning to the world of Cthulhu and playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So if you don't know what that is by now, we have the perfect place for you to do so right here at Chronicle. Guys, the fuck. The energy is really weird, so I'm going to apologise in advance. If you'd like to catch up, we had a break last week because of week 12 of uni, so and Jack was sick. So thankfully we've got the whole table back today. But if you did want to catch up on what you might have missed, our party arrived at Runalorm 2 weeks ago, so we're going to go through and explore that with the party. Yeah, finally they made it to Runalorm.
2 weeks ago, real time, not.
2 weeks ago, real time.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
You guys
Stood at the landing for 2
We've
weeks.
been, you have been here for 2 weeks. We're just kind of like, wow.
How long did it?
So
It took what, like a week in game time to get there?
Week and a bit, I think.
Week
Yeah.
and a bit, yeah.
Is that it?
Week and a bit, yeah.
That's how.
Yeah, it took
We
us
spent
like
on
10.
the last,
It took
like,
you
2
guys
days.
a really long time.
That's
but
how
it was,
D&D
like,
works.
We almost did that in real time. That's how long it took.
We spent more than real time doing that.
No, if we count up like the amount of hours we played, we almost did it in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
It's harassing me.
But yeah, if you guys would like to catch up on what you might have missed from our previous Cthulhu arc, you can go and check out the links in our little down below description, whatever, to our archive videos over on YouTube. We also have our one-shots on there, which I ran last week, a one-shot that was actually set in the world of Cthulhu, taking place in an event called the Night of Sorrowful Ends. It was horrendous. I had
It's pretty good.
I went home and I stared at a wall and I was like, wow, my world.
It was one of the fun one-shots, honestly. Yeah.
It was-
Gaylord become immortal and ruin the campaign as well.
We need to find a history book on the Night of Sorrowful Ends and read it.
Please no.
Gaylord yeet.
It was a really good session though, so please do
It was a
go
lot
and
of
check
fun.
it out if you're interested. We also have a lot of the other one-shots that we've run in the past, and also, if you aren't caught up on Lockie's campaign, that one's also over there as well, so yeah, please check out those videos if you'd like to catch up. Yes.
Thanks to our 2 new subscribers.
2 new...
YouTube subscribers.
Oh, okay.
Hell
We
yeah!
have like 70 Twitch subscribers.
Wait,
Do we?
Oh, no, not paid.
Okay. Follow.
Yeah.
Nah, that's
Would
still
be
cool
sick.
though.
I would be quitting my job.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into how much I hate my job, but it's pretty bad.
Speaking of money,
I have 2 jobs, pretty bad.
we've also got a Patreon now.
And I've started an OnlyFans.
Well, if we get an official enough Patreon, it was feet pics were discussed.
Wait, really?
No.
Yeah.
Who?
I'm
Who's
not...
feet
Mine.
pic?
No,
I- this
D&D
is-
feats, D&D feats.
No, actual
Yeah.
feet. I
Okay,
stand at the top
okay.
tier, we'll get an amputated foot in the mail.
Guys, this is the first time hearing about the Patreon. I'm very sorry I couldn't vet any of these ideas before. The energy, like I said, is really weird tonight.
That was discussed before tonight, though. That was
It was this
Okay,
afternoon.
we're not... I will tell you now that I'm not attaching my name to anything with that is related to that. So
Really?
it's not...
You
I'm
don't want the
feet
money
pics.
from feet pics?
No thanks.
What if it
I
allowed
already
you to
get
quit
paid.
your job?
Wait, what?
No. Still no. Still no.
Whoa.
Still no.
Really?
Still
I'll
no.
do it.
Someone's got standards.
I think-
I
yeah.
would tell my feet to quit my job.
Yeah.
I would too.
Okay.
But yeah, we have a Patreon now, so if you get excited, go to our Instagram, go to our link tree, and then donate to us.
We should really have that. in
Well,
the
we will, we
Twitch
will.
about
There
it.
It'll
is
be
special-
in the Twitch
Yes.
about, I'm sure, eventually. But yeah, please do go and check that
I'll
out.
set
It's the
that
first
up
I've heard
soon.
about it, but it would really help us out if you're interested. Obviously, in light of the weird energy, I think we should get started. But does anybody else have anything they want to say that I might have missed? I arrived late. No.
Don't think so.
Lucky no. Lucky no. No, no, no.
Lucky.
No, sir.
It starts with a T.
You have a beard
Your
here.
taxes don't count if they're evaded.
You're right. Money can't count for us.
It's EFS, everybody.
Taxes
Turn it
aren't
up.
The government's illiterate. They don't know how much you pay.
The DM will remember that. Please don't evade your taxes. As somebody who is currently studying law, please don't do that. I
Only
know
rich
I
people
don't.
are allowed to do that.
Yes.
As someone who is currently evading taxes, please do not.
tax
They were
evaders
chicken
find me
up.
out.
All right, let's get into it. You guys are pissing me off already.
Eat the rich as we tell people to subscribe to our Patreon.
I mean, I'm a pretty tasty snack. Make me rich.
You evade your tax bracket.
Okay.
Guys,
Sorry.
please.
Counts as a donation. You can put it on your tax return.
No more. No more. No more.
Your chances are not looking good tonight, Lockie.
You need me. I'm your only healer.
I can cast
I
healing
can kill
well.
off multiple people's characters and you can all start again.
I will.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
All right, let's jump into our session tonight. A tall figure draped in velvet strides forward. A heavy mantle of ivory and cerulean hangs effortlessly from their body and just caresses the floor as it swishes about them. Soft brown leather boots squeak slightly with every step they take, further and further into the room before them, passing through a set of gilded darkwood doors held slightly ajar. A sliver of warm golden light spills outwards from within the space, splashing across pristine white marble, flecked with veins of gold and swirling stripes of mercury. As they pass through the doorway, the room before this figure seems to stretch on and on for thousands of feet. Vaulted cathedral ceilings bear down from above, stretching almost like branches towards the ceiling. These lines of light grey stone are bisected down the centre of the room, with enormous gem-encrusted sigils and gilded in gold. Intricately carved reliefs are embedded into the masonry, just underneath the spaces where these branches protrude from the walls, on either side, to meet the centre of the ceiling. On either side of the room, a series of towering arches house immense panels of glass that stretch up to the bottom of the reliefs that ring around the room. A riot of colour leaks in from this symmetrical cannon of windows to the left and right of this room. Cotton candy pinks, vivid oranges and splashes of violet splay across the same white marble, bathing it in a kaleidoscope of warm colours. The fingers of warm golden light stretch across the floor, over the tops of large emblems, spaced out across the interior of the room, and inlaid into the floor in gold, cerulean and ivory. Beyond the windows, just beneath the vast expanse of a sunset sky, the tops of buildings extend far and wide throughout a sprawling cityscape. With each step further into the room, more and more of the cityscape below this ornate building reveals itself. Though only its towering spires dotted across the city can even begin to reach the soaring heights of this particular building and this particular room. Heavy banners wave gently in an oncoming breeze, whilst plumes of smoke rise upwards into the sky, vanishing into its rich colours. The room's interior is completely silent, save for the gentle swish of fabric and the soft squeak of shoes on polished stone. At the head of the room, elevated on an ornate dais, that appears to rise out of white marble, with a waterfall of shallow steps, stands a singular throne. A plush cerulean carpet spills across the stonework and down the steps to invite any guest to these hallowed halls to step forward and closer to the throne's base. On the dais itself, a heavy golden inlay of the same symbol embedded into the floors rests just beneath the throne. Only this time in a vision of swirling mercury, sapphire and gold. At the foot of the throne, the figure drops to their knees on the cerulean carpet, bowing their head. A circlet slips slightly downward to rest above their brow. The figure takes in a deep breath, holds it for several moments, feeling their lungs expand. It burns slightly. When the strain becomes unbearable, they release it in a lengthy exhale. Tears prick at the corner of their eyes. They suck in another breath, this time choked and catching in their windpipe. They rest a shaking hand against the gilded seal beneath the throne. A singular tear slips down the bridge of their nose. It falls down to soak the carpet below. But our story for the evening
I want to know more about that.
doesn't begin there.
But that's cool. But that's
That is
cool.
our story begins with a group of weary, eccentric heroes that stand at the precipice of an unexplored cityscape, thousands upon thousands of feet below the jagged snow-capped peaks of the Dawnvale mountain range that bisects Wyladium. Gazing downwards, rows and rows of buildings rise and fall across the landscape in all shapes and sizes. The sheer size and verticality of the space, a sharp contrast to the small farming towns that you guys had ventured through until now. The warmth of the dwarven city that stretches on and on beneath them rises upwards to prickle at their skin. The heat that radiates from it, unlike any other city that you've been in. The outer buildings that populate the city's outskirts around the ring vanish from sight, even from this elevated position, just like the network of wrought iron shapes that glide across the cavern's interior from up above. Thousands of people mill about below, ducking into shop fronts, hauling goods to and fro across a maze of covered walkways, stopping to have a chat to one another. And to the left and right of this enormous expanse of the cavern, a glimpse of Runelum's series of city tiers are visible, just across the tops of buildings, from where these pockets are carved into the walls and stone of the mountain. Staggered up its interior, the tiers are distinct in their architecture and their functions. The base of one tier's buildings, visible to the group standing at the landing before it, too, vanishes from sight. A slight thrum of coursing energy and excitement reverberates around this massive, colossal space. The faint sounds of a bustling city centre below, just barely discernible to the party. Standing above the city, staring outwards into the colossal elliptical opening of this landing, our party finds himself hovering just above the major city of Runelum. To the left and right of them, two stone staircases spiral downwards, their shallow steps inviting them below into the heart of the Dawnvale. So, the named, what would you guys like to do?
Oh yeah, it's official now.
It's official. Unfortunately.
Is the bottom level the main part of the city?
Are you asking me in character or are you asking
Out of
me
character.
out of character? Out of character, yes, that is known as the courtier. Not courtier. Courtier. Just for clarification.
It's a tier in the court.
So like the center of there is like the center of the city.
Yes, so theoretically, and even as you're standing at the top of the landing, you can see that there are the people that were kind of coming behind you have surpassed you and haven't stopped to stare at the landing. They've kind of made their way down, spiraling these staircases, and you can see there's a massive thoroughfare that these spiraling staircases exit out onto.
It goes straight into the middle.
They go straight into the middle, that kind of octagonal platform with the grooves of molten ore that line around it.
Sick. Cool.
So, do you assume that is theoretically the heart of the city at this point in time? But it definitely seems like the space that you're staring out to, and for a lot of you, this is the biggest city that you've seen. So you can see that there are people that are, like, they appear a little bit like ants because you guys are so elevated above them to see the entire city, but they're kind of ducking and weaving around one another, and it seems like you've come at a time where there's definitely a lot of people that are still out and about. And it seems bustling, for sure.
Two questions. First of all, compared to like Lurothia, how much bigger or smaller is it?
Do you mean the city's footprint, or do you
Yeah.
mean the people?
Or just like people as well?
I would say it's probably double the size of Lurothia, and footprint-wise, like if we're talking about the actual geography of the city, it's probably triple the size of Lurothia. This is a big city, and it expands in a lot of different directions. Like, if you think about if somebody had kind of created a city in the center of like Mount Everest or K2, that's essentially what they're doing here. So there's a lot of space to fill, and there's a lot of people to fill in that space. So it's definitely a lot bigger than Lurothia, but not quite as ornate. It seems a bit more maybe rustic isn't the best word, but like most of the things here are not created from nearly the same material as Lurothia.
And horses, what we do with?
That was gonna be my question.
Well, if you're just roll an intelligence check for me, please.
Oh fuck.
I love an intelligence check.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. It's a 19.
With a 19, you think you might be. So the steps of the spiraling staircase are relatively shallow. So you don't see any horses that are currently making their way down, but you think you might be able to get your horses down that way. Your passive
Is
Perception?
17.
17.
Are there stables around the outside of the city? Or?
You can see that there are some carts and wagons and kind of heavy cargo that is making its way to the side of the landing that you guys are currently in, just beyond the pillars and guard towers that are kind of protruding from the back wall. And there appears to be a presence of guards kind of hanging around that space, so you figured they're either checking their goods there or they're having them transported down into the city below. So if you wanted to do that, you could.
I think we should go queue up over there as well and get the cart down this before heading into the city.
So would it stay up here, or would it? Is there no like elevator or something down there, like a pulley system?
Once again, I have no idea.
I'm just sort of like saying it out loud. From where we are, like at the top of this like platform, how far down? If I look over the edge, how far down does the city?
Roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
Do you have vertigo?
How long is this staircase?
Kruger has a severe fear of heights. 7.
Oh, there's 7. You can feel blood kind of immediately rushing to your head as you look over, and you can feel panic kind of rising.
Cool. Yeah, what's it? That's a 5. Yeah, Kruger just kind of looks over the edge, and it's just like, and just kind of like steps a little bit, and then just kind of like sits down, cradling, and he just doesn't move or say anything.
Oh my god.
That's an extreme response, buddy.
Yeah.
What happened?
I mean, from what you could glean from your quick look over the side, it's probably about 1,500 feet below.
Oh my god. Wait, so the staircase goes all the way down?
You have
Jesus
to climb
Christ.
up those stairs.
Try some
Yeah.
circular breathing, buddy.
Are
You
they
get
like
through this.
is it like that kind of staircase?
No,
Yeah.
so they're
Is it
just kind of gently spiraling around. Like they're not. It's not a double helix or like a. I don't know. This is gonna be a really like niche reference. But has anybody been to Melbourne Uni's library, Bellew?
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean. And
The floating
it's
one?
not.
There's a floating library at
There's-
Melbourne Uni.
There's a floating staircase.
Well, it's the one that spirals. This is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like an old medieval
It's-
one where it's like up like a
No, no,
church
no.
spire or something.
It's
No,
not like
it's not-
tight,
they're not-
it's like more.
they're not narrow steps.
Yeah,
It's more like. It's more like a really gradual slope down.
Oh, that goes straight into the middle.
Yeah. So
Ah,
it
okay.
spirals
Spirals.
around and then meets at a point.
Is
Spirals
there
And that's
around
where the
the
thoroughfare-
edge of the city.
No.
I'm so confused.
So there's a sharp at the landing that you guys are at. There's a sharp landing before, and you're looking down onto the city.
Yeah.
The staircases they curve around to meet the thoroughfare that you guys are staring at this point in time. So it's not around the entire perimeter of the city. They just stretch downwards a long way into the city.
Okay.
And they're kind of gently curved, so there's a little bit of a circular space in front of you guys that's marked by these 2 staircases that curve around.
What's down in that circular space? Just houses.
It doesn't look like houses. You can roll a perception check for me though if you like.
Not good. I should just use my passive.
7.
With 7,
Good rolls tonight. That's good stuff.
this is good rolls.
Good start.
You can see that there are some window panes, it looks like, that have some sort of light that's leaking outwards, but it looks like there's a kind of almost a mosaic on the floor in the center of this circle. You're too obviously distracted by the immensity of the space around you to really glean what exactly you're looking at, but the mosaic catches your eye first. It's in like a kind of a kaleidoscope of patterns. Most of them seem to be focused around reds and silvers and kind of differing hues in that kind of degree. But you can see that there are people that are going in and out of doors that are kind of carved into this space in the wall.
1,000 feet down.
Yeah.
That's
It's only about
That's 900.
it's only about 500 meters, I think.
That's massive. That's like
But it's
being
pretty-
at the
500
top of the-
meters
like-
vertical is tall.
How tall is the Eureka Tower?
6 foot, 6'1". I don't know.
Rough.
There's not
Yeah.
more than 100 meters.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Like
Like,
there's 250 people stacked on top of each other. We're assuming
Yeah,
everyone's
wait.
about 2 meters tall.
like 500.
300 meters high is the
That's
Eureka.
that's massive,
tall.
and we can
Yeah.
see people.
Kind of.
Yeah, but
Like,
like she did
mini,
just,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
described
yeah,
as
yeah,
ants,
yeah.
so it makes sense.
Damn,
We're high up.
that's hard.
We're very
Okay,
high.
but
up.
look, the space expands upwards about the same.
Well, we are in a mountain.
Oh, so we're like halfway.
From where you are, it's too hard to gauge. You'd have to go down to really kind of see the immensity of the space. But you gather that it is the drop below from where you guys are now is it's probably the same above and maybe even a little bit higher.
Oh, okay.
Like you can just see
So it's
the
massive.
edge of
Oh, yeah.
Tears.
This
Yeah,
is
it's colossal.
big.
It's a really big place. I'd say 1,500 feet is probably a bit generous. I'd say it's probably maybe 1,200. Like it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Eureka
That's
Tower
still.
right there.
That's still.
It's Eureka Tower height.
That's Eureka Tower height.
And does the top of this city open up to the sky or not?
You can't see from where you are.
Okay.
Are you asking me as a DM? Or?
Yeah, kind of. I'm kind of just trying to paint a picture of this
Yeah.
space.
It doesn't open up to the sky, but you can see that if you were to move forward, there is a kind of an opening towards the top, but it's like almost like a bullet shape in kind of a slightly curved domed ceiling at the top. But there is a kind of an opening to the side where you assume they have access to above or to outside. It's an immense space.
Crazy.
Well, is there a banister?
Yeah, is there like a railing?
Or is it just like best of luck?
There's a wall on most of the side, but beyond the elliptical like opening, there's no banister.
Shit.
And are these staircases, is it like a stone, not a stone pillar? Is it like, does it go all the way down as a staircase? Or is it...
Yes. So it's like a kind of
Have we had a long rest since the fight?
no. Oh yes, you have.
Yeah,
yes,
we
you have.
Yeah, because we traveled for a few more days.
The way that it opens up is so past this elliptical opening, right, that you guys are gazing outwards to see the city. The staircases themselves and the sharp drop off. It drops down to that mosaic, and the staircases, to a point, appear to have doors and windows in them from what you can see. So they don't. It doesn't completely look like they've carved into the mountain beyond the staircase, but there is a wall. Like they do, to some degree, extend downwards. You're just not sure. Like you assume there's some sort of pockets for rooms carved within that wall of staircase. But if you were to move beyond on the staircase, beyond the elliptical opening, you could see that there are some buildings that are on either side, and it kind of pushes past the curved spiral staircase.
That's so fucking sick.
Any other questions?
No, I think
No?
I don't know
I'm ready.
Let's.
Ready to explore.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, let's get past the cart queue first. When we have to go check our cart in.
Krugar's not moving.
Get up.
I'll carry you, bud. You want to be carried?
Why are we carrying him?
Because he's
The
scared.
baby.
It's really.
I don't think carrying him is gonna.
He's
help.
718. He needs. He's so young.
It's really
He's
far.
22, 3, 4.
I also go up to the edge
It's really far down.
Sure.
just to mimic what Kruger did because I'm like, why are you scared?
I leap up, I grab Dilbert, and I pull him back away from the edge. Like,
I'm like,
don't.
Are you looking
don't.
over the edge completely? As you go to kind of look further down, Krugard kind of just edged towards the edge of the landing. When you're looking down, you feel your head kind of bonk something invisible.
I was gonna ask if there were handrails.
Dilbert definitely would like be the one to like go as far as he can.
As he
It's
bonks
kind
his,
of like the dunk.
as he
of when
bonks
you-
his head, I pull you
I
back.
audibly like I'm surprised. I'm like, ow.
Careful! You gotta fall off. It's really hard, it's really hard.
Did you notice me bonking my head?
No, I wouldn't have.
I'm like, haha. I go behind Kruger and go like,
Oh my god!
don't fall.
Roll a dexterity save for me.
Push him.
I'm gonna do
I
it.
don't push him. I just like grab his shoulders and like feign a jolt.
I'm gonna do it with disadvantage. That's a 8.
Okay, with an 8, you are so startled by Dilbert kind of ducking behind you and pushing you forward that you
I
feel
don't
yourself.
push him. I don't
you-
push.
Oh, you're
I'm
faint.
just jolting, like shaking.
Right. Okay. You do stumble slightly, and Dilbert, you slightly lose your grip, and you can feel yourself kind of put your hand out, and you can feel it slap against something invisible.
I like burst out into like almost tears laughing.
Oh my god, that was.
Bullying.
Damn.
See, it's fine. Look. I'm like rubbing my nose or my forehead.
As you go to reach up further, there is a point where you can feel the tip of your finger kind of go over the edge. So it's
Well, hang
not,
on, but I'm quite short, so like it's so the lip's not that high.
It's probably for A9. I'd say it'd probably be about waist height.
Yeah.
Oh, can I
It can
tell
still fall off.
if this is some sort of magical thing or is it just some really clear glass?
Roll an Arcana check for me. Really clear glass.
See, I'm
It's
like
so refined.
I'm like wheezing, like laughing. It's like, it's
Like
fine,
like
it's
if
fine."
I do this,
You'd be about what, 3.5 feet?
I'm 2'6".
Oh, okay. I thought you were 3.
I'm below average height halfling,
Okay, well you wouldn't.
so I can't reach it. Like,
No, probably not.
okay, good.
It's like
no,
it's-
that's good.
It's
That's good. That makes me feel safe.
A9 is how tall, roughly?
Short. I think I'm 5'6" or something.
Yeah, you're
Short king.
Yeah.
I'm now consoling.
What is going on with the heights?
No, you are 5'6".
Okay,
I'm, like,
you're a bad
consoling
example.
you.
For Abelard, it'd be about waist
I would
height.
be mad at
Like
you,
laughing.
but I can't. I'm too.
Yeah.
1.6 meters, whatever that is in feet.
That's like
it's
like
about-
5'6".
That's like my height.
That's like 5'6", 5'5".
I'm the same height as Ada.
I think that's
I don't know
smaller than
what you're thinking,
I don't think I'm 1.6. I think I'm closer to 1.7. So I think you probably.
I'm like one.
Wait, so you're not even that. Anna's not even that short.
I'm 1.72. I think.
Well,
That's so nice for Holly.
I'm 5'6" and a half. The half is very important to me, everyone. 1.6 I think is
5.2.
5'2",
Wait,
yeah.
wait, but I don't know what that is in inches.
Honestly,
It's 3. It's
we've
3.
spent half an hour on
5.6
this
is
wall.
Yeah, look, honestly,
5'3".
No,
it's
5.6.
not that deep, guys. There's a point where the wall doesn't exist. What did you roll for your check?
21.
21. You gather that this is a abjuration magic, so it's some kind of ward or protector. It's not. It's magical. It's not clear glass.
Right. Can I tell where it's coming from?
With the 21, I'd say.
Or can I piece it together just by thinking about it?
So generally, there are either runes or some kind of device that emits the ward. As you can kind of see from stepping up closer to the edge of the landing, there are a thin line of runes that kind of are carved into this intricate stonework of the shallow steps on the that you can see on the outside.
Right.
So you gather that might have some sort of something to do with it.
Well, good news, Kruger. You don't have to be afraid anymore. You're not gonna fall.
Did you see that? It was so funny.
Honestly, that was kind of mean.
Sort of funny though.
Coming from you.
Kruger,
I haven't used other people's fears against them.
are you okay, Kruger?
Very, very tall. It's okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you in a way for doing that.
Hey, I knew it was safe. I wasn't putting you in
You could have
danger.
maybe just said, "Hey, there's like an invisible fence or something."
But that's not funny.
Yeah, I agree with Dilbert on this one, bud.
I disagree with Dilbert.
What do you think, Van?
Of course you do. You always disagree.
Van?
Yeah.
I'm
Val.
no, Val.
This
Val.
is not new.
That's why it wasn't.
Val, weigh in on this. Do you think these
I think
two
it was a bit mean
strangers-
to do that.
Sure.
How funny do you think it was, Val?
I didn't
On a
think-
scale of
these
1 to
people.
10.
I didn't think it was particularly funny.
Damn.
Rude.
I,
What
shuffle,
was
I shuffle
hilarious.
next to Nadra and Val, and I'm just like,
Well-
silent. But at least I'm moving.
Okay, as you guys are, you're queuing up to where they're moving cargo.
Yeah.
Sure. So as you guys reach the end of the line, you can see that there are probably about 4 people in front of you, and those people are they appear to be checking their goods for transport down into Runalong. You see, I'd say for brevity, the quicker that you as you guys go through this, you can see that there is what appears to be there's a loud kind of sound intermittently as each of the people kind of move their stuff away, and you assume that there is some kind of device that is taking goods down to the bottom.
Does it look like the entire wagon and horse set is going through that, or is it just like boxes?
You don't see any. There's a cart before you, and probably 2 horses, and you don't see any of them come out. So you gather that probably.
Okay.
For the most part, as you guys get to the head, you're kind of stopped. What can we do for you?
We just wish to get down into the city. We have carts and all that, so it seemed prudent not to take the stairs.
Down to the bottom, please.
We only take goods through here, so are you checking your goods?
Where's the other line? Is there a line for people?
Points over to the staircases. That'd be a line. You can see that the people have dropped off their goods and are circling back to the staircase.
What if we just have horses and like the cart is made like our transportation? Can we declare that as goods as the cart itself?
Yeah, you can. Essentially what happens is we just take it down to the bottom. You meet us down there once you've settled yourself in the city, or whenever you'd feel like it when you get to the bottom, and then you can collect your carts and your horses.
Will our horses be fine?
Yes, it's a left.
So
Left.
and then
Right.
then are there stables down there that we can leave them at, or do you guys take care of them?
We do not have stables here. We're just in charge of the lift. So
There's-
when you get down there, you probably have to find stables
Oh, that's
for
good.
yourself.
Okay.
There are plenty of stables about. That's
Okay.
the most I can tell you.
Cool, great news, thanks. Could you take our cart down?
Sure thing.
I assume there's a fee.
Yeah, that'll be 5 silver.
Okay.
That's not
I pull out 5 silver from my coat.
I put my.
For the cart. For your horses, a gold each.
Okay.
I'll pay for spirit.
Because we all went, that's cheap.
No. You guys only asked about the cart.
That's not cheap. That's not cheap.
Not true.
Yeah.
Not too bad. I could have charged you guys like.
Look,
How about
to get our horses down at a 1,000-foot drop.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
I mean, we could have ridden the horses.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I
gave
gave
myself
up-
some gold.
Doesn't matter.
yeah,
but
I pay the
that's
guy
how
and then
amateur
hop off and then walk to the stairs.
Perfect. And they kind of take the reins from you. You can see as you guys have made your way up to the entrance of where they're kind of checking goods. There's a long kind of stretch of almost like a stone desk, and there are a lot of little implements kind of that are scattered across there. You can see within the space itself, it's a huge circular chamber, and there's a platform in the same like octagonal shape as the core of the city, and there's these huge pistons on either side that kind of extend upwards. There's a lever to the side that's attached to like a series of thick chains, and as it's kind of pulled down, you can hear mechanisms that kind of click into place, and then you watch as the cart and the horses vanish out of sight.
That's cool.
Tata.
This is just a massive piston.
Kind of.
I honestly don't get why we couldn't be on that. It
Because
just
of
feels
rules.
vaguely ableist.
What do you mean? Aye.
There's a lot of stairs.
Are there any ramps?
Roll a perception check.
Oh yeah.
Are there any ramps?
Disability.
I guess they would have to go on that.
Well, if they're already, I probably don't see them with a 5.
You definitely don't see any ramps. There are the 2 spiraling staircases. But as you're looking into the chamber, I'll say with a 5, you do notice that there are no railings on the actual platform itself, and there's kind of a sharp drop-off that reveals the mechanism to you partially. So you assume that for safety reasons, they can't put people on this platform in particular. There might be other platforms for people. Thank you. But you don't see the 5.
I convey that to the group.
Well, I mean that's nice for the others, I guess. Others being people with difficulty walking. Let's go.
Roughly, how long does it look like it would take to run down these steps?
To run? If you're going full sprint, I mean, how fast do you think Dilbert can run like a 400
Downhill?
A 400 meter downhill, yeah.
400 meters downhill.
How steep is it?
It's really gradual.
See, it's so weird going between feet and meters because I've got a speed of 40 feet.
But if you dash, it's
I'm
80
I'm pretty fast.
So,
You
But
can
40 feet.
okay,
Yeah,
here's what I'll say.
30
The
80 feet per 6 seconds.
it's
If he
about
dashes.
1,200 feet. So
1,200.
that's the
I could
gradual slope
probably
that you're on.
Do
So-
that in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's
Less.
not. It's not.
Less. Like,
That'd be
I
like
feel like
4
it's not
4 minutes.
as extensive as you guys think it is to get to the bottom here. Like they're very. It's a really gradual, just kind of gentle slope down.
Let's
Probably how many thousand stairs do you think?
So you're saying if I tapped Kruger on the shoulder and said I'll race you to the bottom, we wouldn't get lost?
It's only 2 staircases.
genuinely
Probably
nearly an
not.
hour.
Probably not.
to get down
like-
these stairs.
Like I.
They are stairs, they go down. There is one set of them.
You can see people going down the staircases. Like from where you're standing, it's not.
Okay,
You're
I
not
go down the stairs.
gone from sight completely. Like the space before you is colossal enough that you can see people moving down the staircases.
I just walk down the stairs normally, whatever.
You can run if you want.
No,
Is
Okay.
there a
Well,
guard nearby?
uh,
A
what?
guard?
There is a guard, so you guys haven't moved away from the opening of the chamber.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming if you want, you can see that there are guards on patrol, and some that are kind of like dotted around the area. There's some that are on the walkways, and there's 2 that are in front of the chamber now.
I do start walking.
I was just gonna ask one of them. Excuse me, do you know where is there a temple of Run here? Or?
Actually, I'll check. Let me show you guys. Sorry, I don't really worship Luron myself. There's plenty of kind of temples and all that scattered throughout the tiers. Luron sounds kind of fancy, so maybe he's up the top. I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, thank you for what help you offered.
Passive aggressive.
Kind of nods at you. I'm just stationed here. Sorry.
That's so good. I'm gonna head downstairs.
Sure.
Head
You
down the
guys
stairs.
make your way
Let's go
downstairs.
downstairs.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Are you all going on the same staircase?
I'm going on.
I'm going
on
straight off the edge, Holly.
I'm going wherever
I'm
Nadra is
transforming
going.
into a bird and flight.
I'm assuming
I
Nadia
just
is
need
gonna
to
go
know
the
if we're
opposite
keeping
way
the
to
party
Other one
together on
that's
the same
always on.
staircase.
I think so, yes.
Okay.
That
I-
was smart.
Nadia's going on the opposite one to me, and I keep changing
we're not
to try
keeping
and
the
be on
party
the
together.
same.
Oh,
one.
Dilbert.
Huh?
Me and Kruger are together. Let's go. We're gonna get.
I
murdered.
assume we're following the party. though.
Yeah.
Then
The
I'm
party
going
is
to follow the
together.
party as well.
We're together.
Everyone just heads down the fucking stairs.
God.
Everyone is done playing games.
Okay, you guys
That
finally
only
make your
happened
way.
because Nadia wanted to go on the opposite staircase to do it.
Shut up.
That was
You-
that was something that was said.
You guys finally make your way to the staircase.
Oh, we're at the top?
We're at the bottom. I'm confused. I'm going up or down the stairs.
Oh my god!
I'm joking.
We
You
take a left
guys
here, right?
are
That's a
going down the
That's a
staircase.
joke.
You're going down the staircase.
Fall down the stairs and die.
Was it a ramp or a staircase?
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
We're in the
Now
city
it's a vertical drop.
No more. She's rolling dice.
What the fuck?
Interesting outcomes tonight, everyone.
That
wasn't
was
a part
psychic
of- I
damage
wasn't
to
a
our
part of
case.
As you begin
We weren't
to
part of this.
spiral down the staircases,
Holly begins to spiral.
that happened ages ago. This is my 26th session. I've already lost my shit. You guys make your way down the staircase. It takes you probably about, I'd say, 10, 15 minutes to make your way down. And as you guys are curving your way around, as you get past the elliptical opening, you can see the massive expanse of space before you. There are buildings that are kind of lining the sides, some that are built up into the cavern's rock face, others that are kind of scattered around in different, like, varying heights. It's very much like a wave, where there are some tall buildings and some that have really elaborate facades and others that are kind of smaller, tucked into different places. There are kind of intersecting walkways and covered walkways even that stretch along the side of the cavern and actually stagger up to those different tiers. And as you guys step past, you can see now that there are, in this space, Leah's dying.
Okay.
You can cough if you want.
No.
Present the audio at all costs.
Technically, I cried at D&D today because the tear fell down my face.
by the way.
Oh no.
You don't have, I could just fill a glass with water.
Actually, I think I'm okay now.
The moment of death. Not anymore.
I'm okay now. Coughs. You okay?
You guys
I
can
don't know what
see
happened.
that there are 4 other tiers that extend upwards. Each of them are kind of staggered at different heights, and the walkways kind of go between them. A lot of them are covered. Some of them appear to just be kind of an elaborate network of stone that kind of stretches and branches off at different spaces. But a lot of those walkways that stretch to the different tiers, the higher up you go, the more they're just focused around the outskirts. So from what you can see down below, this massive tier that you guys are heading down towards now, the walkways kind of extend and crisscross all over the place, and there's bridges that kind of stretch over what appear to be small kind of rivers of molten ore and lava that even kind of like extend across the space.
That's cool.
Above you, as you guys look up, it's another 1,000 and a bit feet above you. I'd say probably approaching 2,000 feet above, of just tier upon tier. And they're all kind of wrapping around the side of this almost cylindrical cavern. They're also like a maze and like a crisscross network of cable cars that kind of stretch from one tier to another and kind of go on their own different arcs and paths. Some of them seem to be in better condition than others. The ones that are at the very top appear to just glide, almost as if they're not attached to anything at all across the space. Above, you can see that there is a bit of light that kind of leaks outwards from kind of almost what looks like a platform at the top. It's too far, obviously, for you guys to see. But as you guys are kind of making your way around this side of the tier down below, you can see that there are just people stacked upon one another here. There are so many buildings in such a small space, and there's so many things to look at. One of the tiers to your side, you can see that there appears to be these mechanical, almost spider legs that kind of reach up out of the ground and then curve down in a sharp point. Some of them have like thick, heavy chains that dangle and suspend what appears to be a large bucket of some sort over that part of the city. And people are kind of going to and fro from all of these areas. It's pretty much a hive of activity. And for a lot of you, this is your first time seeing it. For June, feels a little bit like a homecoming, you know, having seen this before, but it's never a tiring thing to see the cityscape of Runalong.
Speaking of that, Avalon, can I borrow 10 gold?
Why?
I feel like I want to be in the clothing of the people. I want a hat.
You want 10 gold for a hat?
I mean, I'll bring back the extra, but like 10 gold just feels like a reasonable amount to. Can I? 10 gold feels like a reasonable amount. I imagine I'll spend like 3 at most.
I guess.
What is the temperature like now that we're on the ground? Because you said it was quite warm when we came in.
It is really warm, so it depends on what you guys are clothed in.
Nothing.
A thick jacket.
Sick, thank you so much. Gilbert's just streaking this whole night.
Would you?
Yeah.
Wearing a toga.
How?
I would say, just on your point of how hot it is, I'd say that probably the only one that would have trouble would be you, Abelard, just because of the density of your clothing and the fact that you're wearing a mask. So it feels very much like...
Well, I'm wondering if my clothing will be designed because my armor is designed to be worn in what is essentially a desert.
Because it's gonna be
So
hot.
what
all
class?
the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say because of the nature
Yeah.
of Luron, it's more like a lunar desert.
Yeah, so it's colder.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'd say they'd be heavier clothing, but I mean that's. I guess it's up to you if you think they'd be breathable in some aspects.
I think it makes
It's-
sense that they'll be warmer in nature.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd say it's not. You don't feel like you're walking into a sauna, but you can definitely sense a temperature change. So it feels like it's just approaching being uncomfortable as you step in, but the further in you get, the more acclimated you get with the space. You feel. You kind of get used to it after a while, and it's not like you're sweating buckets as you walk in. It's not like you're stepping into a furnace, but it is noticeably warmer. And the closer that you get to the bottom, I'd say you guys are probably right upon the bottom of the staircases now. It does get hotter from where you were up in the landing, but it's by no means like... You'd sweat probably a little bit if you were exposed to it in like a heavy cloak or something for a long period of time.
What about us in armor?
In armor, I'd say you definitely feel a bit of sweat kind of
Yeah, makes sense.
beating there.
Sleeves rolled up, extra high, and jacket unbuttoned.
As you step down
It's hot as hell
into the as you step down into the bottom of the staircase, you find this massive like flagstone thoroughfare that people are kind of moving in and out of buildings on. Some are hailing one another, like hawking their wares. And behind you, you can see that kind of circular space where the staircases spiral down appears to be shop fronts, and some people that you had noticed on the staircase appear to be queuing behind there, probably to go and get their goods. It's up to you guys when you would like to go and retrieve them, but there does seem to be a small queue that are kind of checking their goods, bringing carts and horses around, past down the thoroughfare, and immediately as you step down onto this thoroughfare yourselves, you gaze upwards and you can see just this expanse of space that rises before you. Light kind of leaking in from all different parts of the cavern. And as you're actually at the bottom now, you can't even see that top platform that you noticed. And most of the cable cars are kind of gone from your side. It's almost covered by a dull red-orange glow.
Cool.
I go. Have you already left to get a hat?
No, Enadria, can you come help me buy a hat?
I
We
wanted
won't
to
be able
go.
to help you buy a hat.
You can come, Dilbert.
No, we can't.
Dilbert, you can't come.
I go anyway.
You can't go.
I trail along anyway. I walk behind you guys.
You're like not.
Wait,
You're not being
should we have like a point to
I-
meet
Yeah, I was
at?
about to say,
Can I-
are we
can I roll?
splitting up and
Yeah, I
We'll
think.
meet you in the line.
What?
the where?
I don't want to
line
wait
for
in
the
a
goods.
line.
We're not gonna be there all. Well, how long are you gonna be
You
gone for?
You guys can wait there all day.
I'm going for like a minute. I'm gonna pick up a hat. I'll come back.
No, there's stuff that I want to buy too, though.
Well, we can do that later.
Why me later?
Why should...
Well, because it's important that I get a hat.
Why do you need to get a hat now?
Can we just wait and
You know why I want a hat. It's a very personal reason.
Can I
How
help?
about we do
Hello.
this?
I'm going to get a hat.
We go, we wait in the queue, we get our stuff, we find a place to stay, and then we figure out a list of things we need to do whilst
No,
we're here.
I'm going
We
to get a
should
hat now.
Probably stay
Not for you.
somewhere near the Crooked Tavern.
That's a good idea.
You go get in the line. You come with me to get a hat.
I'm not coming with you to get a hat.
Please.
Fine.
Thank you.
Can I roll an insight check on June?
Yeah, please. June, you want to roll a deception check?
Nat 20, 24.
Let's no.
You know that June is lying. For
No,
sure.
I'm not. I'm going to get a hat.
But like, but like, you seem overly like, why are you so desperate to get a hat all
Especially
of a
for
sudden?
an
now that we're
indoor
down?
cave system.
And also, I mean, I can reasonably somewhat assume because me and Abelard are the only ones who have seen his wanted poster.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm just trying to glaze if there's anything more into it. Like if there's a bit more like I need to do it now because I'm going to be like targeted or someone's going to find me or recognize me immediately.
Not a hat, but a mask.
What's your thinking, June?
Well, I don't want to give it all away, but
No, you don't have
June's definitely wants a hat sooner rather than later.
I think we've gathered as much.
That's giving nothing away. Exactly nothing.
That's all.
Do
June,
it, doesn't
June's
even-
desperate.
Well,
for
like,
looking hats.
well, I
Like-
don't
like-
understand what the point of the inside check was if you're just giving us information that we already had.
Well, Kruger's also already got all the information I would have given him.
What?
I mean,
I mean,
okay.
yeah, you told
Look,
Kruger.
No.
it's hard for me to moderate an inside check on another player, so I don't know.
It's a thing.
Yeah, no.
Random.
That's enough. That's enough. I don't care.
Raise an eyebrow. Sus.
Yeah, I would say the most you probably get from that is the most that I got from that, and that June is just being incredibly shady.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's enough.
I
That's
want to
excellent. I'll come with you.
No.
Why not?
Get in the line.
Why do I have to get in the line?
Because I don't want you with me to get a hat.
Why do you want Dilbert to join us?
I didn't care about Dilbert.
Why do
Yeah.
A9?
Let go.
Do people around here actually wear hats?
Yeah. What is the fashion?
Roll it. Okay, no, I'm not going to make you roll it. But I will say, you can see that, like, it's very rare for people to wear hats here, given that they're underground and that it's a relatively hot environment.
Mhm.
But you do see the odd, like, paperboy newsy hat.
They're fashion hats.
Sometimes you can see that it's more common for people to have like headbands tied around their forehead. You assume that these people are probably working in hotter conditions, almost like a sweatband. For the most part, a lot of people generally will have shorter sleeves, or some will just be sleeveless. And it seems like most of the clothing that they're wearing is linen, so it's relatively lightweight, though still durable.
Makes sense.
The area that you're in now is, I'd say just from the brief glances that you can get, it's not necessarily the forge area, but it seems like this is an area of commerce where people are kind of hawking wares and expecting travelers to come through, so they're kind of selling whatever they can, and there's various shop fronts that appear to be more geared towards selling goods to customers.
Nadri, are you coming? Please?
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
making me...
We're leaving. Goodbye.
I leave as well. I go with them.
Right,
just
so we're waiting for the
I,
car.
I'll stealth if need be,
I'm
but
just gonna say that was really suspicious.
Well, I think it's...
Dilbert's not suspicious at all. Dilbert just wants to go.
Okay.
Alright, when they leave, I'll be like, that was really sad.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of hats
Okay, so
around.
June, what specifically are you looking for?
I'm looking for a store that sells hats and a store that sells glasses.
So you're actually looking for a hat?
Yeah.
It's for a disguise, obviously.
Yeah. I just
There you
Good
go.
job,
There
Jay.
you go.
put on
You missed
glasses.
I forgot about the one time I was just
Um,
really worried about getting sunburned.
Roll an investigation check for me, please.
Oh, no. It's 4.
Okay, I will say that it takes you probably about. I mean, are you asking people?
Yeah. I'm looking for a hat. I'm going up to storefronts. I want a hat. Do you have a hat I could buy?
Most of the people most of the storefronts that you walk up to are not general stores by any means. A lot of them are like weirdly specific. Like
Hat or glasses?
you'll stumble across like people that are repairing clocks, you know, clockmakers and things like that. You stumble across people that are selling things like different kinds of ropes and linens and fabric.
Clockmaker. Do you have a welder's mask?
You're asking like
Clockmaker. Do you have a welder's mask?
Can he say I do? Sorry, we only sell clocks.
Oh, thanks.
Are there
Like
any-
as a mask.
Are there any stores nearby that are selling musical instruments at all?
You can roll a separate investigation check for that, but I will say that it takes you about an hour and a half
Okay.
to find anything even
How long
remotely
is the line?
resembling
It'll be a couple
a
minutes.
general store. It seems like things have really kind of changed since you've been here. A lot of the shop fronts that you thought you recognized or you thought would be in a particular place are not. Even though you spent a lot of time in the core tier, it wasn't nearly enough to kind of gather your bearings enough that you know the city inside and out. So, unfortunately, it takes you about an hour and a half. What did you roll?
14.
A 14. I'll say that with a 14, you do stumble across somebody who makes musical instruments, though they appear to be woodwind instruments specifically.
Drums? No. Technically, a drum is a woodwind instrument. If it's like a bongo
No,
drum.
it's not,
No,
bro.
that's
Where's
not
the
even-
wind?
That's as percussion as
Where's
percussion
the
gets.
wind?
If you hit it hard enough, it would produce like a little bit of wind.
I
From
see
the
your
bottom,
logic. I
yeah.
see your logic.
You can
Yes.
blow on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
made
As
of wood,
somebody
and it
who
produces a
played
little bit of
percussion
wind.
for many years, I don't
It
think that's
vibrates
how it
the
works,
wind
man.
within the drum.
I think woodwind instruments.
Wind is just air that is
You are the
moving.
wind within my drum.
I think woodwind instruments depend on the reed they
I was
use.
just about to say, do they? But does a flute have a reed?
I'm
And are they-
I'm just
Flutes don't have reeds.
instrumentally being
Reed.
dumb because I'm playing a
Flutes
stupid.
don't have reeds. I played them.
You're,
They don't have reeds.
you're a very smart man,
I
but
would
your
say
brain is
if you
demons.
wanted
I'm
to
well
look-
aware that drums are woodwind.
Shut up.
Sorry.
I'd say that if you wanted to look at what kind of instrument are you
We'll
looking
find a
for?
violin.
violin? I'd say you'd probably have to investigate a different tier, and after you, I mean, I'm assuming you're probably going into the musical instrument store. You can see that there's a small kind of gnomish figure there. Kind of
Fuck
looks
you
up
and
at
your
you.
hats.
We'll do your thing first.
Kind of looks up at you. Yes. What can I help you with?
I'm looking for a violin, possibly. So I saw there were instruments here. I just.
We only sell things that woodwind like clarinets.
Yeah, I
We
can-
have some flutes.
Yeah, I can see that.
No-
that
No violins out
But-
back?
That's not
No,
a
this is
woodwind.
my specialty, but if you're looking for something maybe a little bit more specific, you can always ask some of the folks in the cauldron. They might be able to help you find a better
The cauldron?
fit.
What's the cauldron?
It's the cauldron tier.
Don't
What?
worry. I know.
What is it?
Great question.
You can both roll a history check on me if you like.
Can I have advantage?
Cauldron tier wasn't it like the main one?
Yeah, I have told you before.
That's
that
where the
cauldron
prison
tier
is, right?
Yeah, he's with prison.
Nadria, like Leah knows. Nadria wasn't paying attention.
But
Mhm.
June's
Nadria got a
before.
20, so.
Was it natural 20?
No.
Okay.
June got a 5.
I know more about you.
Don't
Your
make June dumber
thinking
than it
is-
needs to be.
You're thinking so deeply about the hats that you just briefly hear the cauldron and you think you know that that's where a lot of the like forges and things are, but man, you really wish you could find somebody who was selling like hats or glasses or something similar.
I just
For you with a 20, I'll say that the cauldron is typically thought of as the industrial center. So generally, if people are looking for artisanal goods or things that are specifically crafted for them, especially if it's commission work, a lot of the more specific shop fronts will be in that area of the cauldron. It's relatively unusual to see somebody who only specializes in one particular thing in this area. As you've noticed that a lot of them are kind of general stores or places that people will typically go to collect a lot of things. It's kind of a catch-all area because this is, you gather, from what you can see, the main section where travelers would pass by to go to a different area or to go back through the Kazakhstan Pass, for example, and head back or outside to beyond the Dawn Vale and run along.
Do I notice how stressed you are?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not hidden?
No, I yell before about getting a hat.
I'll
true.
say that this happens along the way to try and find your
She's
hat.
like, come on, please.
Eventually, you stumble across a particular building. Give me a moment.
Oh, good.
I was gonna pull out the Highland bull skull that you gave me. Yeah, yeah.
My neck hurts so bad. Bet they'll notice if I'm not.
I just
No
like
one
kind
will
of
look at me if I have a skull on my head.
like it's totally too big for me to carry. Like I've just been like it's just been there.
As we leave Ronalom, June's neck is like crooned down, spine shape fully changed by
You
the weight of the
become a
skull.
Highland bull.
Okay.
You stumble across a shop front that is kind of tucked in an alleyway behind what appears to be almost like a small bank or currency exchange of some sort. That is just called Bills and Shills.
Oh my god, is it like illegal to buy hats here? Why is this so far away?
Bill, I love Bill. This guy, I point into the store hoping.
As you're
Hoping
walking,
that Bill's in there. Bill!
are you walking into the store and yelling Bill?
Yeah.
You can hear a small brass bell that kind of ding 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 over the head. As you walk in, you see what appears to be the milliner is currently in the process of kind of pinning what appears to be a banner to a hat and kind of stubs a thumb and goes, "Fuck! Fuck!" Kind of turns towards you. What the hell? What can I get for you?
A hat. And what's the banner on your hat that you're making? Is it?
She holds it up. It's just a ribbon that's tied around the hat.
Oh, good.
I mean, what kind of hat do you want? We've got hats all over the place, man. And you can see that this is like a half-elven woman, kind of got the side of the hair is shorn on one side, and they don't appear to be mannequin heads, but they appear to be hat stands that are kind of lining in rows upon rows along the wall. And you can see that some of them are kind of almost like a conveyor belt being shifted back, and like the positions are changing in each of them. Kind of points to any of them. You can see that there are bowler hats, there are paperboy hats, there are kind of wide brim cane hats. You assume that this is an artisanal milliner.
Well, Bill, I presume you're Bill.
She kind of looks to the side. You pull my leg, man?
No, it's
Bills, like the bill of a hat, idiot.
Oh. See, I wasn't pulling your leg in real life. Or
Just pick a fucking hat.
Well, no, that's why I brought you along.
What?
I wanted help picking a hat.
Oh my god, it's been an hour and a
I
half.
could have done this by myself, but I needed help picking a hat.
You did expressly say, "Please come with me."
Yeah. That's why I needed help.
I thought you just like wanted someone to follow you around so that.
No, but you know why I needed help.
Yeah,
But I need help
I
picking
don't know
a hat.
why you needed a hat.
What the? Oh my god.
Oh, Dilbert, don't tell anyone. There's people after me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Oh, okay, she can know.
Yeah, no, I trust. Not Bill.
You just
Not
say it
Bill.
really.
Bill, can I ask a name to call you other than Bill?
I'd really rather not.
Okay, well, that's fine. Are you okay with Bill?
Don't refer to me at all.
I
I'm
would like
so
to
sorry.
buy a hat. from-
Great, which hat
It's
do you
fine.
want?
No, I'd love suggestions.
She kind of places down the hat that she's working on. You can see it's kind of a almost like an akubra that she's kind of put to the side, with the kind of thin ribbon across it. It kind of places it on top of what appears to be an actual mannequin head this time, not like one of those small hat stands. It's like almost like a halo, a ring.
Yeah.
So what kind of hat are you looking for?
Something shady. I know it's not shady in here, but it's got to be multi-purpose, and I'm looking.
I mean, if you're a criminal, right?
Feels funny, guys.
You literally. You said out loud why you needed a hat.
Yeah.
But she obviously heard you.
Bill
I'm
knows.
so sorry.
She kind of mutters to herself, puts down all the instruments that she was working with, heads around the. This is comparatively a really nice building to some of the other clothing stores that you guys have been in. To kind of find your way here, it almost is reminiscent of the Wayland's tailoring that you guys have been into previously, in that everything here is ordered perfectly, just so. And it's an inviting display. There's kind of a plush green carpet, and everything is kind of accented with soft wood and like a rustic stone wall. She heads up to some of the wider brimmed hats.
Bill,
Stop calling me that.
I feel like it's
If you
better
have-
than you.
If you have any questions, tell me the question and I'll.
Nadria.
Yeah.
I have 10 gold, and I haven't made the best impression, so I'm happy to buy something a little under 10 gold for the price of 10 gold. Because as a sign of appreciation.
You're doing great.
Thanks, Nadria.
You want to buy something for 10 gold?
Or I mean, if there's I'm looking for suggestions, and I'm saying I'll tip. I'll tip good.
Okay, well, do you want a custom hat? Generally, the hats that we sell here probably don't go over 6 gold unless they're custom, so, kind of up to you.
What's a... No,
You need an immediate
yeah,
hat.
I would like a sooner rather than later hat.
Typical criminals, right?
Well, I'm not a criminal myself. I'm just...
I thought you said you were needing a disguise.
I'm not friends with criminals.
Right.
Which is obviously a good thing.
Kruger did cause property damage.
Okay, I'm friends with one criminal.
That was a long time ago.
Look, I don't need the life story, guys, and you can see that she kind of is pressing a bit of fabric to the thumb that she'd pricked when you'd come in shouting Bill.
Oh, may I have your hand?
No thanks, and kind of steps away from you very visibly.
I can fix it with magic.
I'm good.
Okay. No, that's up to you. I appreciate that.
Every time you say something, you're making it worse.
I just need a hat, okay?
She
I'm trying to be
takes
nice.
a kind of cane wicker hat with a wide brim off. Try this one on for size. I need to get a size.
I've got horns.
I gathered that.
Is it horn holes? Am I about to break it?
Oh my god, I grabbed the hat and I put it on your
She
fucking
kind of
head.
stares in disbelief.
Did the hat break?
No, I just
Well,
put it on your head.
horns aren't straight up, are they? They curve back?
No, well, not
What
like
do
flat
your-
to my head. They're like forward and up.
How big are they? I thought they were only small.
They're big.
Right, okay.
Like medium. Not like nubby.
Okay.
I don't force it on June's head, I just
Sure.
place it there so it
I'll
doesn't
say she takes the hat back from you. Looks like we're gonna need something with a bit more space. Kind of heads back, pulls something that looks a bit like a top hat off, and puts it
Oh
on
my
your
god,
head.
that's hilarious.
And you notice that it just kind of doesn't. Your horns meet a little bit of resistance, but it's still there's still a bit of space there.
Mm-hmm.
You want a recommendation? This one? Perfect.
Could I have...
Doesn't have a wide brim.
But it's a cool
And then
hat.
she snaps her fingers, takes it off, and then heads into the back.
Mhm.
Just a second, comes back out in like a minute or so. She has what looks like a pilgrim hat. And kind of donks it on your head.
Like the bucket one with the buckle at the front?
Yeah. Now
Oh.
this looks kind of stupid, so.
Oh my god,
maybe
no,
not.
no, we
And kind of takes it off the
I
head.
appreciate that.
Heads back.
Thank
It's
you.
kind of stupid.
Goes back
Mhm.
and brings out like just a stack of boxes, and they're almost like she's probably about 5'10", very lean, seems to carry herself with a kind of an air of kind of blasé. Doesn't seem to really give a shit, basically. And it brings out all of these boxes, kind of stacks them on. So you want a wide brim, you don't want it to reveal your horns, or you do?
If it could fit over my horns, if I would pay extra for holes, that would be good. But
so
also,
you want to reveal your horns?
yeah.
Okay, well, what kind of style of hat do you want? Take me like 10
Okay.
minutes or so to carve out some decent holes.
Could I have a wide brim cowboy hat? A wide flat.
Yeah,
brim.
what kind of color are you looking for?
A dark brown leather. Is that an option? Or what,
Probably cost you more because I gotta cut the.
What are hats made out of?
I mean, it depends on the hat.
What are hats usually made out of? As a preference.
Well,
for
we've
question
got felt hats, we've got wicker hats, we've got leather hats, we've got typical fabric hats.
A leather hat would be lovely, thank you.
All right, well, I can probably get it done for you in an hour or two. Leather's a bit trickier to work with, especially because I gotta form it around your.
How would a
horns.
wicker hat sound? Would that be quicker?
Maybe. She kind of heads back, and you can see that there's a black leather hat that she brings out. Wide brim, the sides kind of curl over, top kind of pushes down slightly. It's got what appears to be a kind of feather shoved into a strip of red silk ribbon that kind of runs across it. Kind of puts it before you, kind of hovers it just like anxiously over your head for a second, makes a mark or two in it. Do you mind if I, it's gonna sound weird, don't usually do this, do you mind if I measure your,
Oh, that's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Cool. Kind of darts to Dilbert and Nadria. Don't tell anybody I ever did this, okay? I don't know you lot, but, and kind of...
We don't know your name, Bill.
Stop calling me that.
Sorry.
Once
Reaches
again.
around, kind of measures the horn, then kind of makes a marking in like tailor's chalk across the hat. Look, I'd say it'd probably take me about half hour to do it.
We can wait a half hour.
2 hours. How long have you been in fucking queue for?
Oh, you guys have been out of the queue. It's like a 10-minute queue. Sorry. You
We're
guys,
just waiting.
they've been gone at this point for an hour and a half, approaching like an
we
hour and
I'm just like, I'm giving up.
I reckon
45
We'd be
minutes.
doing
back to
something
them
within, like,
while this happens.
You've gone back to...
No.
Oh.
Like while the hat's being made, because I feel like there's stuff that could be done.
I'm gonna wait for the hat.
Okay, so...
You didn't even get my opinion. Why was I here?
Do you like it, sorry?
No, because
I-
it's been over an hour.
Well, that's a good enough opinion for me. Thanks for your opinion.
Look, if you wanted to go with the wicker option, I could probably get it done in 10.
Oh, absolutely. We want the wicker option. Then.
Please.
Time is of the essence.
This guy got
Okay.
lost looking for hats.
Do you have glasses I could buy from you?
Oh, this is
I'm a milliner, but
It could just be your regular glasses that I will buy off you.
you want to steal my glasses?
No, I'm offering to buy your glasses.
I kind of need them to see, dude.
Do you have a spare pair? Genuinely, this is a weird question, but today's
I'm
a
not
day of
gonna
firsts.
sell you my glasses.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. And kind of heads to the back. 10 minutes pass, and I'll say you receive a wicker hat that is actually really quite well made. It perfectly fits around your head. It's like a very good fit, and you are not in any danger of ripping any hats or anything. It's a bit more of a flat brim, and kind of a square top to it. And there appears to be a kind of striped ribbon. It's white with like a red stripe through the center. Kind of your typical, almost barbershop type of hat.
Cool.
Passes it back towards you.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Great. Holds out the hand.
How much?
6 gold.
Perfect. 6 gold it is. I put 7. I can
Great.
count. I'm just
Thank you
being
for your
nice.
thank you for your patronage.
Thank you very
Um,
much.
Well, if you need anything, guess come back.
I've got
We
one
want
more.
them to come back.
I was just being nice.
I appreciate that.
I mean, this has certainly been an interesting morning.
Thanks. I don't have a name, so
You're
thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill. Thanks.
I'll ask one more question.
Yeah.
Do I see anyone with glasses on the way back?
Roll an investigation check.
Okay. 11. No, 12.
You see plenty of people wearing glasses. It's not an uncommon thing to wear glasses.
Okay. The first one.
Yeah. Kind of an older man.
No.
The an older dwarven man that's kind of hunched slightly in his age. You get the sense that he's been alive for like a century or so.
He doesn't need it.
Maybe a little bit longer than that. He's not like dwarves have quite a long lifespan. He's probably I'd say probably been alive for maybe 2 centuries at this point. So he's kind of in the middle of his life. Yeah.
Nadria, back me up here. Dilbert, are you with us?
I'll steal the glasses if you want.
Back me up.
You
Dwarf.
approach the older dwarf.
Sir, 3 gold for your glasses. My entourage.
He's kind of peering over the top of them. What?
3 gold for your glasses, sir. For me and my entourage.
He's kind of leaning in closer to try and read your lips.
3 gold, sir.
I don't have any glasses.
That's correct, sir.
He kind of snatches them and fixes them back.
I like
He steps back,
Sir,
turns to look at like some passing guards and kind of, excuse me, this man
my
is
God,
trying to
guards.
rob me.
Could you interpret between us, guards?
He watches these stocky kind of dwarves that have actually several beads, several beads in their beard that kind of hang down and are braided and twisted. Head towards you. Oh, it seems to be a problem here.
This man and I are in a trade currently. He's very old and he seems to have lost himself slightly. We were about to arrange 3 gold for these glasses.
Roll a deception check.
Do I have advantage because I'm not technically lying? Okay.
No, you are lying.
I'm not.
This is not a
You
trade.
were not. Yeah, you were not arranging
This
a
is
trade.
a forceful takeover.
I'm arranging a trade.
You're also lying about him being senile.
Yeah, that's true. 17.
Is he not?
The guard looks at you. Go ahead and tell me what his name is then.
I don't know. I'm often we're merely business partners.
Is your business partner? You don't know his name.
No, not like we're not in the same business.
Get out of here.
What?
Get out of here.
But my glasses.
Go on, get out of here.
He has my glasses.
Straight away, leave the guard and go to the next person with glasses.
You can see that the guard is watching you very closely.
Oh gosh.
As you
make a
leave.
Fuzz on you.
I'm looking to buy glasses for 3 gold. That is no crime.
Kind of turns toward the older man. So what exactly is this trade all about then? You've taken his glasses and you're supposed to owe him 3 gold, is that right?
No.
And the older gentleman kind of turns and goes, I know, he just asked me, I think if I had classes, and then he asked me if I wanted glasses, and then he asked me if he could take my glasses, and then he started taking my glasses when I said no.
I didn't take his glasses. I merely gestured.
Didn't you?
You...
Touched his face. Yes.
He was touching my face, sir.
I was touching his face to demonstrate where his glasses were. He didn't. You heard him. He said classes and then asses or something. It was a while before we got to glasses.
Afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to come with me.
So I've committed no crime here.
Fuck's sake.
If you wish me to move on,
So
this
lying
transaction is done.
to a brand member is not
I touched his face.
to steal his glasses.
No, I didn't. I gestured at his. I literally pointed and tapped his glasses to present where the
Okay,
glasses
okay,
were.
I'm really sorry.
Back me
my
up,
friend.
guys.
Yeah,
This is not true. We're bystanders.
Roll a
We're,
deception check with disadvantage.
with
Stop talking!
Can it be persuasion?
No,
Well, I'm trying to persuade him.
no. Deception check with disadvantage.
Touched his face.
Dude, that's always come on.
Oh,
That's actually pretty good. Deception.
Oh shit.
It's not. It's 13
That's not bad
for a
this.
disadvantage.
Yeah, it's not bad.
He kind of steps towards you.
I'm just a bystander. This is all true. I was just watching. I'm like,
He pulls out a small notebook and gestures to another guard to come closer. And you can see a dwarven woman with kind of stubble around the chin, kind of cropped hair. It's kind of like tightly cropped to her head. Kind of steps closer towards what's happening here. Appears to be kind of pincering you between the two guards. And in his book he says, what's your name? All of you, what's your name?
Jude.
my name's Dilbert.
Writes down, looks at you for a second, writes down Dilbert.
Jude. Is this my name?
Jude?
No, Jude. You see how
That's
difficult this
just-
was before? These things happen.
See, something interesting just happened in that you changed your accent, so
Oh,
I'm kind of wondering
Did
if
I?
maybe
Not keeping track of
It
kind
was
of
normal
write
English.
something down, and you
My name's Nadria.
writes it down. So, given that we allegedly have a misunderstanding here, I'm gonna take your names and I'm gonna put you on a watch list. So if there's any other difficult things that happen and your names come up, well, we'll know that what happened here was, let's say, a violation of our laws here in Redland.
Why was...
I'm genuinely
I-
looking for glasses.
Shut up!
Could you point me in the direction of glasses?
You want an optometrist?
Well, no, just fashion glasses. Do you not see my hat?
Hot.
Do you not see my hat? Look,
I
we're
genuinely-
not exactly known for being the fashion capital of the Prussian Empire, so
Look at this hat. I
I'm
bought
gonna
it.
say most of the things you'll find here will be functional,
That's okay.
especially if they're something as specific as optometry. So I'd say you're probably better off finding them somewhere like the Cauldron, maybe.
Just want glasses.
Look, do me and my
Friend.
this guy
Friend.
here have to be on the watch list too. We were not involved.
He didn't really
in...
do anything.
Shut up. We were not involved in the conversation that this guy had with that gentleman there.
This is true.
But he was known to you before.
I
We
Partially.
seem to be traveling together, so
Do we?
Shut up! Please!
My glasses.
look, if you're looking for an optometrist, you could try a general store.
Could you point us in the direction of one?
Kind of lets out a deep breath. Right, you can go that way and you'll find AJ's. If you want an optometrist specifically, head to the Cauldron, or maybe even the Vats and you can find Wolfric. I don't know.
Could get some glasses, boys.
I don't...
Cheerio, I guess. Unless there's more that we must do.
I already told you to get out of here. We had this entire discussion. You made it worse. Please go.
Oh, point of question.
Yes.
Am I allowed to stop other people for their glasses in fair trade?
No.
I
Do you
accept-
have a license to trade?
It's a gift. You could definitely give.
You can see
people
that the
money.
old man's wandered off now and kind of is muttering behind him. You can see that he actually meets someone and kind of points back towards you. He's obviously having a discussion about what's just happened. Look, if you're accosting citizens here, and trying to get an unfair trade, trying to swindle your way around things, we're not going to look pretty kindly on that. So I'd recommend you buy your fucking glasses.
Go to a store.
People have spares.
Go
You see
find
the-
spares in a
the-
store.
I'm leaving.
Leave. Go.
Just wanted some glasses.
Go.
Well,
You guys walk away.
Are we allowed to?
cheerio,
Oh.
officer. Is that the correct title? Officer? In the
Just get the fuck out of here.
I feel like people don't respond to my politeness well.
I guess we'll go.
You guys head off, and you watch
Yeah,
as
not
the
Bill.
What the fuck's that?
you watch as the dwarven woman who'd kind of pincered you guys in steps to the side slightly and then walks toward the guard, and they begin to speak in kind of hushed voices.
And that was the glasses man, guys. That's not me all the time.
You make
That was
me
an act.
follow you for over an hour because you can't find a fucking hat.
I see how this could be seen as bad.
Find a hat store, and you are incredibly weird.
Then literally, I get persecuted for being weird so often, and it's not cool.
Aww.
Why did you think her name was Bill?
It said Bill on the store.
I
It's
do
like-
not blame that.
If I had a store name with like I
Well-
don't know any name on the front, would you assume?
Yes.
Yes, literally yes.
If it's-
What?
The
Especially
name
'cause it's-
is Bills and Shills. There's no apostrophe.
I just better read.
Yeah, so what if there was
Like,
Bill
Bills.
and Shill?
Like it's Bills and Shills. I know it.
What if there was someone called Bill and Shill? That's what I thought when I
Okay,
walked. When
I'll
I
say that for the sake of brevity, because we do have the rest
Yeah.
of the party to deal with for this entire hour and a bit.
I'm gonna go.
What are you guys doing?
Okay, so I assume we get the cart and the horses, and that takes about 10 minutes.
Well, I want to have a nice
It's probably
conversation.
about 10 to 15 minutes, I'll
Okay,
say.
cool. All right.
And
so
you
we're
guys
in
head
line?
to the back. You head
Okay,
to the back of the line, and you can see that there are groups of people. A lot of them appear to be dwarven individuals just around this space that you can see. And there are several different shop fronts that are kind of curling around the side, but there appears to be a large chamber with kind of double doors where people appear to be entering and exiting and then coming out another side, almost like, it looks kind of like a roller door in that it's absolutely massive and there's kind of like a strip of metal that you can see just above the top. And people are coming out with carts and horses and exiting the space and going down the thoroughfare. And I'll say for the sake of brevity here, is there anything you guys specifically want to do in line or you just want to get your stuff and get out?
I imagine we get our stuff and get out of the line, and then I want to have a talk.
Sure. You
guess.
guys go through the line. It's another 2 gold on top just for the housing fee. For the transportation down here.
Fuck's sake.
You got the, Abelard, you got the money, right? Thank you. Okay, so I think after about like 3 to 4 minutes, when June said, "Oh, we'll be back in like a minute." Okay, so you reckon they're lost?
I reckon that they're doing something that they probably shouldn't be.
That's very likely. I mean, wait. I look around for Dilbert. Ah, crap. Dilbert went with them too.
So,
I mean, are we really complaining about that?
I mean, it has been a little bit quieter, I gotta admit.
I'm just concerned that they'll end up in prison again.
Well, we're gonna
Gotta have a little bit of
I mean,
focus.
if I learned my lesson, surely they learned theirs.
regardless, we're going to let some people out of prison anyways, aren't we? Shh. We'll be on our way.
Anyway,
Oh.
but yeah,
Sorry.
but yeah, that was. But yes, but you was acting very weird about the hat. I must say.
I think.
It is. Do you think June's just up and run?
What?
No, they'll be back.
I mean, could it be to do with the poster?
I mean, 99% sure that's the reason. Yeah.
Is this something I could be filled in on, or?
I'll reach into like one of my back pockets and I'll fill the wanted poster.
I got one to
Wait.
Does June think people don't know?
Yeah, June
Yeah.
doesn't know that I know already.
Oh, I want to post your. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
June. It
Oh,
says piss
okay.
underneath it and it has like 150 million gold.
Well, that explains.
Wait, 150 million? No, 150,000.
No, I think
right?
it's 150,000.
That's
Yeah,
sure.
but it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of gold.
I unfill it flatly so people can't like see it,
Good.
but like I show it to the party.
Okay.
And I'm just like, yeah,
Where did we find that? That was just before we reached Talon, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was just before Talon.
Yeah, so June's got some sort of past, and obviously they don't want to be recognized. So maybe because the wanted poster is in the crim, I'll assume presumably they did the crime here.
Maybe.
Does Kruger know that June wasn't lying about buying a hat with that insight check before?
I'd say you're suspicious about the reasons behind buying a hat, but
That's
I
why
don't
I said
know.
I'm,
I'd like.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm not 100%. I mean, like, yeah. So hopefully, maybe they don't come after us by association.
I mean, we're not associated, are we?
No, of course not. Okay, so they might be gone for a while. Do we want to check in somewhere and wait?
Honestly, I am nearly 75% sure that they're going to end up in prison.
Well, I'm
Well,
sure
that would
we'll-
make it easier to find them.
That's also true.
I mean,
Anyway,
like if
I've
they're
done-
not back within, let's say, like half an hour to an hour, then we can.
Val, you don't know June. We'll give it a couple hours.
No, I'm
Okay.
going to say a half hour tops before I give up and go find a place to stay because I'm tired. I want a bath.
So wait, so you just want to wait like in the center square? I guess I guess they know to come back
honestly, they can figure it out.
Are there any places nearby to wait out?
Is there like a stable and tavern nearby?
Oh, yeah,
Roll an investigation check.
in. Is
You sure it can't be a perception?
Are you asking people or you're just looking around the
I'll
space?
ask people.
I was gonna ask.
Well,
locals.
if you're asking people, then it's an investigation. If you're just looking around the space, then it'd be perception.
I would.
Can I help with this?
Yeah.
Good. Am I getting him? I was gonna
You
ask
can
before.
roll and I'll help you.
Is this allowed?
Bit
Metagame.
metagame, but sure.
Metagame. Metagame.
But how do I roll with advantage?
Just roll
Do
it.
it twice.
Oh my god, there's a button for it.
Yeah, there's a button for it.
Oh.
Hey man.
That's cool.
Yo.
Yo.
25.
The 25, I'll say you can see that one of the shop fronts here, that is kind of across from where people have been housing and storing their goods, appears to be a gathering space. There's no name marked on the outside, but you can see that there are tables within what appears to be like a long rectangular window that appears to look out onto the circular space in the mosaic that you guys find yourself in that space there. So
Wait, have we? Are our horses currently in a stable?
Well, we've just like checked them out.
We've checked. Okay.
We've got them with us.
Or are we? Sorry, are we still in the line? What
were you looking for a stable as well?
Yes.
Um,
I mean, like an idea, like a
I'll
tavern with a stable attached. to
I'll
it.
say that they're so attached to where they are housing people's goods, there is a stable. So if you didn't want to check your horses out right away, you could check them instead into the stable.
Yeah.
It appears to be carved back into the wall of the cavern again. So there appears to be an indefinite amount of space. You guys aren't too sure, but you can ask if you wanted to check both the horses in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask to check him in.
Sure. Okay. Just trying to work out a feasible price for a stable. So you check your horses in. The attendant there, say it's probably about 5 silver per day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Do they want us to pay per day, or do they want us to pay when we come get them out again?
It's either or. If you prefer to generally, if it's a longer stay for an indefinite amount of time, they'll get you to pay when you pick them up. Otherwise, if it's only like a day or two, you know when you're leaving, then they ask you to pay
Probably
Yeah.
smarter to just like pay when we go to pick them up.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to work for sure.
They will take a down payment though if you have like a rough idea of how long you guys are going to be staying here.
How long are we gonna be here for?
Months.
I think
Years.
a week.
No,
2 weeks?
Yeah, a week.
You're not there.
Pretty.
In game.
Wait, no more. Yeah, no more than a couple
Those
weeks,
me.
right?
If we give you too much on the down payment, will you give it back?
We're not made. We're not made
You're
of
asking
money.
the attendant
Yeah.
that? Don't see why not.
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I will go with a week then as a rough estimate.
Okay.
Is it
That's
5 silver
4
or
gold.
4 gold, 5 silver.
It is 5 per horse.
5 per horse.
Oh, are you doing them separately or together?
Reckon together.
Yeah.
So
we're
It'll
not
be
gonna
5
need
for
them.
both. It's just for like
So
the
10 gold.
fee is for the stable.
Yeah.
So if you're housing them or stabling your horses separately, then it's 5 per horse. If
Mhm.
they're together in the same one, you get a slightly bigger one, but it's
Same. Okay.
Same price.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So a gold a day. So like 7 gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave him 10 gold. I'm like, yep, there you go.
very generous of you. Thank you. Kind of puts it to the side.
All right, let's go find the tavern.
Okay.
You guys step over to the tavern across.
Yep.
Yeah.
As you guys step in, it appears that this is kind of a through point for a lot of people, like a waypoint sort of tavern that people are when they're traveling down. They've made their way down the staircases. This is kind of their first port of call if they want to break, and people will generally gather here before they're leaving to wherever it is they're going. They have limited rooms. And majority of them are full. They only have 2 available.
We'll stay somewhere else.
Yeah. We'll just chill.
But you can see that there are these heavy oak tables that are a little bit worse wear. They look a bit battered. There's kind of knife marks in there. There's weird stains spilt all over the place. There's heavy iron clamps on either side. As you walk in, you can see that most of the population here appears to be dwarven, and they're kind of moving these heavy tables around and shifting them, kind of pushing them together. Some people appear to be sat on like half barrels that have been cut shoddily, while others get actual like stools and seats to push up to the table. The tankards that they are carrying out appears to be about 5 wait staff here. And they're all kind of passing out these tankards that kind of push heavily on and kind of slosh ale and different types of... There's even some wine that you can see that kind of sloshes over and adds to the mismatch array of stains and everything over the actual table. But it seems relatively... It seems like a beloved place, even if it is a little bit rustic and worse for wear in some aspects.
Is it very lively? Are there a lot of patrons in the tavern at the moment?
I'd say there'd probably be about 10 people there. Roughly, you guys gather that it's probably about midday.
Okay. That was my next question. Okay, so still early.
Yeah, so it's relatively early in your day. You guys, when you stopped the night before, I'd say you probably only had... You probably would have been traveling maybe from 6 to now, so probably about 6 hours of travel. So you have theoretically the rest of the day.
Yeah.
This place has got a cool vibe.
You can see that there is a small, like, worse for wear stage that's kind of pushed up into a corner, and above the actual bar itself, there is, in kind of a looping script, the words "the grindstone."
Yeah.
Are there any tables of anyone gambling or like poker? I'm not sure. Is there an equivalent to poker in this universe?
So you do see people. Some people are playing cards, but for the most part, there's probably only one table, and it's probably just a group of 2 people that are playing together. Why? Just laughing to yourself?
I just realised my hat looks a bit like a pimp hat.
It's not a fedora.
No, like the pimp hats, not like a milady pimp hat, like a hey, that's a pimp hat.
Okay.
the vibe.
Most of the people here do appear to be having their lunch in the space.
You guys want some lunch?
Lunchtime.
I mean, I haven't eaten since breakfast, and I don't know if you're very. Okay, never mind. That's a stupid question. I don't know if you're very familiar with halfling appetites, but we eat a lot, so I'm
happy to eat.
What about second breakfast?
Exactly. I am that kind of halfling. I'm a stout halfling. I'm a big boy. I'm a hearty boy.
Anyway, but yeah, ask the group if you guys want some food.
Supper. Tea. Sorry,
I don't see a need.
I'll have a nice share.
We are trying to exist on a budget.
Now you.
Aren't you loaded?
Didn't we just tip at the stable?
Yeah, you just gave them extra.
I just gave them money and then
Oh,
I
to be-
was
no,
planning
no,
on
they
getting
meant to
their
give it
money
back.
back.
They meant to give it back.
Anyway.
Whether they got that intention or not, we'll find out in a week.
Anyway, I'll walk up to the bar and be like, "Hello, can I get 3 ales and 3 lunches?" Surprise us.
Surprise.
What's on them? Excuse me.
I like the idea that this plague doctor towers over this dwarven person. Be like, "Hello, I wish for 3 lunches, thank you."
As you step up to the tavern, you can see that there is a dwarven woman who's got her hair pulled back into 2 braids. Appears to be clean shaven. Which for the rest of the wait staff is surprising. They all appear to have at least some stubble or some sort of beard. Some of them have like braids and twists in their hair and like little beads that kind of dangle from both of the braids in their hair and their beard as well. She kind of looks over to you all. You can see that her arms are relatively scarred and kind of pockmarked from like burns and splashes of hot oil you gather. And just the hands are calloused as she's kind of wringing out a glass. What can I get you?
3 ales, and then 3 of whatever meal is your specialty.
Not really the place for a specialty, but I can try my best.
What you're good at? I don't know.
Typically we serve like lots of different cuts of meat with, bread, something stout. If you're looking for a soup, we can provide that as well. Bone broth or
Can I have a bone broth, please?
Sure.
Can I just have a cut of meat with bread? Sounds good.
Absolutely. Do you want anything like? Do you want eggs? Or you kind of do you want any vegetables or anything like that?
Sure. I'm not from around here. I'm just interested in sampling the local cuisine.
Right. Okay.
What about you, Val?
I'll have one. He's
I'll have what he's
I'll have what she's having.
A sample of the local cuisine. What grows good around in the caves?
Smells like bones.
She kind of
Yes.
she kind of squints to you. We have a lot of subterranean gardens and things like that here. A lot of root vegetables, generally a lot of stocky people around these parts, so generally lots of potatoes and carbs and smoked meats.
Sounds lovely. How much?
It's about 3 silver pieces per person.
I throw 9 silver pieces. I don't throw. I pass.
In the eye.
Coins. I'll pass like a gold coin. Yeah.
Peasant, take my money. Takes the gold for me. Thank you kindly. I'll get that out for you. Should be about maybe about 5 minutes or so. Just in the middle of cooking at the moment. So.
Thank you.
I think.
Is there a table for the 4 of us? Or just...
Yeah, you can see one that's kind of set up towards the corner. It has a pretty good view of the window, so you can see people that are passing in and out of the space.
Take a seat.
Cool.
Eventually, your food comes out to you after a couple of minutes. Are you guys? Is there anything you're doing, or are you just waiting for the others to get back?
What have I been served? What is the sample of a local cuisine I've been provided?
It's pretty much just your standard like English breakfast. Like
nice.
it's like your classic.
Egg. Bacon.
Yes.
Hash
I'll
brown.
just say the
Oh,
bacon.
the hash brown.
The bacon is a bit thicker, and it's it's kind of a bit not super greasy that it's like inedible and you'd hate it, but it's like that good kind of comfort food that people that are generally You get the sense that this is a place frequented by a lot of miners and workers and people that would be in the fort.
How big is like the bowl of the bone broth?
It's pretty decent. It's probably about, I'd say, that big maybe. The serving sizes are decent. Like you get, I'd say, probably about 5 strips of bacon.
This is good value. If you paid 5 silver, you wouldn't get a lot of meals with 5 silver from my home. And if you did, it would be like a I don't know, like a little sandwich that looks fairly fancy and something like that.
It's definitely not refined food by any means. It's more comfort home cooked.
I imagine enjoying it. I'm used to like ration stuff. Technically, I get my food as part of army rations. They're technically free.
A9, can you eat? I know you don't need to, but can you?
I think, at least according to, this is not in character, according to a quick Google search, yes, but I'm not sure if it works any differently in...
Do arcanoids eat?
Yeah, I'd say you can eat if you want to. It's just that your digestion is...
Do you have digestion?
It's like the Mona machine.
Oh! Yeah, I've seen that hundreds of times. Yeah, that is an interesting machine. Do you want some bone broth?
No, I mean I don't have a need to eat.
Can you taste things?
I mean, the enchantment is relatively sophisticated, so you are essentially a sentient being, and you do have senses, like you can see and you can smell things. So taste is not necessarily like it's not as sophisticated as a human palate, but you can taste certain things. They just taste a little bit dulled or muted.
I guess I wouldn't know the difference though.
No.
Yes, but I mean,
Short circuit.
Fucking dies.
Dude,
Hang
this
on.
bone broth kills.
I've never been here. You've definitely never been here. Val, have you ever been here?
Never been here. First time.
A9, were you ever here when you were like awake, assumably a long time ago?
I don't think so. How long has this place been around? Would I have heard of it?
Centuries ago. You can roll a history check for me.
Ooh, natural 1.
Ooh.
For an 8.
Error.
I mean, the natural one, I'll say you've heard of a lot of different places in the Prussian Empire. This might have been one of them, but you can't quite recall.
I mean, I don't think so.
We really
I think I would remember if I'd been to a place like this.
Do you remember anything though? I think you said that you really don't have much of a recollection. Right?
It's hazy in parts and oddly clear in others.
Are you immortal?
I mean,
Like if no one
please
were
feel free to jump in.
Are you... What was it?
immortal.
Oh.
My parts wear down and need maintenance, but I don't think there's anything stopping me from living forever, right?
No?
But
I guess
I think so long as everything's
just functioning correctly.
We need to find what makes your brain tick and get it like, because that would be cool to figure out like what you were doing like, I don't know, like 100 years ago or something like that. You're like a walking history book or something.
I mean, the Horrorvox core is what does all of the sentience and magical, or is that just power?
It's a little bit of both. So there's a material called slaint that takes the enchantment. It's relatively, it's got really good absorption properties. So it takes the enchantments really well. And there's actually a lot that are kind of applied to it that create the sentience. So it is both power and enchantment. Like essentially your power, there's no electricity that you know of in this world. And it, for the most part, your power is your enchantment.
But is that where like thought comes from as well?
I'd say that's, yes, it's kind of how your enchantment works for it.
I mean, honestly, it's hard to say. I know that thing. I mean, you've seen it before. I think that's responsible for most of my consciousness, but I don't know, maybe it'll come back with time. I'm not sure how long exactly I was out of it.
Well, we'll figure it out someday. I hope. That'd be really cool.
Maybe.
Is your girl good, Val?
Minecraft.
Okay.
Should we pass time until...
Yeah.
I want to know, like, just two things. I want to ask, like, either the barkeep or a local patron about the tiers of the city, because you said there's, what, 4 or 5 tiers of the city?
There's 5 tiers. You could see 4 from where you are.
Ooh, I want to know, like, what each tier is called and, like, what, like...
Sure. Who are you asking? The barkeep?
Yeah, I'll ask the barkeep. Like, so there's, like... So the city is super cool, by the way. This is rad as hell. Biggest thing I've ever
thank
seen.
you.
Bigger than my home. So everything's like tiered? Like everything's like, I don't know, like the whole city is like, I just want to know about it. Like what are all these, like the tiers about, you know?
Well, it's arranged in 5 tiers. It's kind of, there's the one that you're on now, which is the core tier. There's your top to bottom or bottom up?
I'll go bottom to top.
The base tier is known as the vats. That's where you get your kind of experimental, mechanical magics and things combining together down there. It's generally your area of experimentation. This tier is the core tier. It's generally considered the heart.
Core tier, CORE, core?
Yeah, core.
So it's VATS, then core.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. VATS.
You've also got above that the cauldron, and that's typically where forges and industrial centres are. For the most part, you'd probably have a lot of your artisanal work happening there, though if you're looking for very, very specific things and things that are kind of a bit unusual, that's generally in the vats. The vats also has the God's Forge in it. The tier above the cauldron is known as the inner works. That's typically your commercial head, so a lot of political and business deals happen in the inner works. You've got the medial coinery up there. Generally, a lot of people will be looking to go and exchange things there. You've also got the very top tier, known as the ferrocage, and that is where the ferrocine sits.
How do you spell that word, sorry?
Ferrocage, so it's 2 words. FERRO.
Ferro.
Yeah, and then space cage. Yep.
Cool.
And then the second word I said was ferrocine, so that's FERRO, and then SYNE.
Ferrocine. Okay. Beautiful.
So to get this right, the order of the tiers is vats, core, cauldron, inner works, ferrocage.
Yep.
Perfect. And the vats is more your experimental side of things.
Yeah.
From what they said.
So generally, that's kind of where you're drafting and kind of the weird shit happens in the vats, right?
Cool.
The weird shit happens in the vats.
Weird.
Yep.
I want to be in the vat.
Weird shit.
But it is also partially it's like a sacred center of the city for a lot of people because there is the seat of Mayada in terms of the God's Forge.
Oh, yeah, God's Forge.
It's considered the God's Forge is the deepest part of Runalorm's city center, and it's generally where people will go when they believe they've had like a divine vision from Maya to create something specific.
Dilbert doesn't know that, Nadra.
I know. I can't wait for Dilbert to
It's a fun
find out.
experiment.
Anyway, what's one of the barkeep asked? Do you know where a temple of Ron may be? No one know about Luron.
Not that it's not. Luron is not necessarily the the
But Moon Daddy.
he's not
Hashtag
necessarily the
Moondaddy.
god that presides
Moondaddy.
over the entirety of Runalorn. But she kind of thinks for a moment. Generally, there's temples that are usually in the inner works, some that are in the Pharaoh Cage, but I think for Luron, I remember it was quite close to the Under Archive, so maybe that is a place to look.
You said the Under Archives?
Yep.
Which is in the Cold.
The Under Archive.
Where?
It's you're asking.
Yeah.
The Under Archive is the branch of the Litaroshan Inquisition. It's in the inner works.
Thank you.
So what's the cauldron known for then? Like the tier above us?
You weren't listening.
No, I was not. I was writing other notes.
It's the Forges and Industrial Center.
Industrial sense, I think.
Yeah. So that's generally where the majority of creation happens. So, for example, if you're looking for weaponry, that's probably where you go.
And the core tier is just like your trade, like with like shopkeepes and all that. That's
So it's roll a history check for me. just quickly.
Is the Courtier like a housing area at all? Or like...
Wow, 22.
With 22, you remember reading that in your lessons. You remember reading that the courtier is generally residential, as well as people are spread out across all of the tiers, but the courtier generally has the highest population count, and generally people will do their business in another tier and then come back to the courtier. And generally it'll have your like smaller business occurs here. It's more like some of it's artisanal, of course, but it's more as if it's like I said before, kind of a catch-all for people that are traveling through here. And it's not to the extent of the business that occurs in the inner works.
Okay.
So generally the inner works will be like your more
like master crafters, master artisans and stuff like that.
yeah, so there's generally a thought that the higher up in the tiers you go, the more experienced or the more advanced, or generally the better quality things that you generally find. However, that's not to say that the quality of the cauldron or the vats is not as good. It's just the political and social upper echelons will generally force people to go upwards if they want things that are of really high quality.
Okay. So, I'll go just quickly. So, VATS is where experimental stuff is made. Courtier is residential and like small business.
Yep.
Cauldron is industry. Inner works is like the governance and those kind of supporting structures, like.
To some degree, yes. Most of the political happenings occur in the Pharaoh Cage.
So Pharaoh Cage is governance and like political happenings.
That's where,
And Inner works is like upper class housing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and generally that's where you've got things that'll. So, if you remember ages ago, I don't know how much you guys remember, but ages ago we had a discussion with Busby about how there's a lot of trade that occurs in the city. Generally, the upper tiers are only currency, so they'll only accept things for money. But if you were to go to the lower tiers, you might be able to find people that would accept things for a trade. So generally, because the medial coinery, which with your 22 you recognize is where most of the currency within the Prussian Empire gets cast and printed. So a lot of coins are made there, and generally the inner works is where...
It's like a financial district almost.
Yeah, and it's also where a lot of the arcane is practiced within the city. So that's where you'll find, like...
In the Pharaoh Cage?
In the inner works.
In the inner works, thank you.
So that's where you find generally a lot of things like the Under Archive, which has ties to the Literation Inquisition, as well as places of arcane scholarship.
I might have missed something. Are these tiers physical tiers of the city?
Mhm.
Like, so are the tiers in the side, like the walls?
Yes, so they're carved in like a kind of pocket into the side.
Right.
So you have the entire expanse of the cavern,
Mhm.
and then kind of carved into the side there, you have the tiers of the. You have one tier, for example, and it'll stretch onwards into a different section of the mountain,
Yep.
and then it'll stagger higher, and then on the other side you might have another tier there, and then it kind of goes up like a bit of a ladder.
Okay.
And there's kind of intersecting walkways and bridges that go up and down to each of them.
Wicked.
Okay. Any more questions?
Where are the chains located?
Hey, so there's this guy named Sheeboth, right?
Yeah.
How do I free evil gods?
He's our homie. No.
Some super fucked up dudes.
I'm looking for a place called Wolfrix. Do you know where that is, or where that could be? Is it on this tier, the industrial tier?
And kind of smiles for a second and seems genuinely amused by a question. Probably find him in the vats.
The Vats.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
a relatively well-known name here for being a little bit eccentric.
Oh. Gotcha. Okay. Wolfrix in the Vats. Okay.
Trust me, you'll hear him.
I'll hear him.
You'll hear him.
Thanks for the tip. Thank you
course.
very much.
And I'll go back and sit back down.
Okay. I don't know what. Okay. If we get time, I would really like to go to the Vats. That's the tier below us.
I would suggest we get our business that is like individually messaged to every single person done illegal.
Just
done-
one,
illegal,
6 seconds. Two,
Yeah.
6 seconds.
But yeah, so I'll like say that everywhere. I suggest we get the business done last, and then everything else we get done beforehand. And we do that beforehand, and then we do that last bit. Because
Wait, so we do the thing last, right?
I just nod.
Cool. That because that makes the most sense to me. Yep, perfect. Okay.
So, I think that's a pretty good place for us to leave off for this part. Definitely not what I expected to happen.
I'm already
in
on
the
a
first.
fucking watch list.
Yeah, definitely not what I expected to happen.
Over fucking glasses.
I didn't even do anything.
But we will see you guys in the next little bit. So thank you guys very much for joining us for this first part of our exploration of Runalwarm. We hope you enjoyed the chaos of this. If you're joining us on Twitch, we'll be back in just a little bit. If you're joining us on YouTube, we will see you guys in the next part. Thank you very much for watching this, and much love to you all. We'll catch you in a little bit. Goodbye for now.
Oh, nice.